Hi, welcome to another Milwaukee PC Connect training video. And today we're going to look at the basics of DNN, some of the options, and some of the terminology involved with your website. So here is one of the websites. Right now this is how the public sees the website. To get into the administrative side of the site so we can work with it and edit it and add content, we have to log in. Depending on how your website was set up, you might have a button for login, either on your menu or in the footer. If you don't have that, you'll want to just go into the address bar and type /login. And then you'll have the login screen come up. Press login there after you've typed your credentials in. Now you'll notice we have some additional settings here along the left side. This is called the persona bar. This is where all of your settings are. Down here, this is the editing interface. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go through the menu here. The first button on the menu is content. This is where your page management tool is. So if you want to add new pages, reorganize pages on the site, you can click and drag these around. You can drop them inside of each other to nest pages. Nest pages like associations right now is under about. You can change permissions for the page. Typically, if you want the page to be public, you have it set on all users. So there's just some additional tools in here, and there's also add page up here at the top, which we'll go over this in more detail in another video. But basically, you can just give it a page name, and then you can tell it where you want it on the main menu, if you want it underneath an existing page, if you want it to show in the menu or not show in the menu, and then you can click add, and that page will become part of the site. Under content, you also have the recycling bin. If you delete one of your pages or modules, they go to a recycling bin first, so you can resurrect those. The next tab here is where you can add additional users to the site. You can set up different roles, so different users can be grouped into different security permissions. That's about all that we're going to look at on that menu. And then here we have site settings. Here we can change some of the more fundamental things about the site. Typically won't use many of these tools or any of them. You'll primarily be focused on pages here. So let's take a look at the editing tool. So I'm going to shut down the persona menu by clicking the X up top here. And let's just go to a more simple page so we can see the editor. So here on this page, right now we can't control anything. But if we click the pencil down here at the bottom, it's going to throw the site into edit mode. And it's going to look a little bit different. Now you'll notice there's different sections here all of a sudden, and we don't see the content. So what we're seeing is all of the layout areas that we can place content. When you have nothing in these areas, they collapse when a user is looking at the site. But what we're going to do is we can go down here, scroll down a little bit, and we'll find that content. You can see there's different layouts here. So you can have a small column and then a larger column. A little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, etc. So down here we have two columns of equal width. So now we can see our content that's on this page. So terminology, let's go over that first. Each one of these sections, this picture and this text, are what we refer to as a module. And modules can be edited, they can be moved around, they can be changed. But basically it's a fancy term to describe an area on your site where you can place content. So we're not going to go into depth right now on how we edit this content, but just want to point out a few things. Each module has a pencil icon. This is where the editor is. So if you click edit content, you'll get a pop-up window. And then here's the content that's in that module, and you can edit this just like Microsoft Word. Each module also has the gear icon next to it. And that's where we look at the settings for the module. So we just zip back down the page here. So if I hover over the gear and select settings, delete is also here. So if you want to remove a module, you can do that. So we're going to go into settings. And if you look in the background here, there's a title on the top of the module that says About Us. That's where we can edit that right there. We can change that to anything we want, and then that'll show up there. The other useful setting that's inside the settings dialog here is if we go to page settings, there's this little option here. It's called the module container. And each one of the modules has a theme or a look to it. And right now we're using the default one, but if we look in this box, there's many different types of looks that you can use. So if this look with the green line and the gray line is just not exactly what you want, what you can do is you can pick one of these other options and then click preview and it'll show you what it looks like, and then you can decide if you want to use it or not. So the second module that we have over to the right here with the picture of the home is the same thing. We've got the pencil icon with the editor. If I bring that up, there's the picture that's sitting inside that module. We could click on this and change it out if we want to. We could add another picture. We could put some text underneath it, just like using Microsoft Word. And then it has the same settings there as well. And then as far as, let's say we wanted to add another content area to this page, let's say a banner across the top with some text. So we have top pane E here. What we could do is, because we're in edit mode, we have this little extra menu here at the bottom. And this option allows us to add a new module. And the most basic, there's different types of modules, but the most basic one is the HTML module, and it'll always show up at the top here. So what we can do is I can click on this. It's going to think about it just for a second. And when it comes back, it'll let us drag that new module around and decide where we want to put it on the page. So I've just clicked and then I'm dragging around here. So we're going to decide this looks like a good spot for it. So I'm just going to let go of it. Page is going to refresh for us. And then we have our new module. So besides using the pencil icon and the gear icon, we can actually just click on it here and change these elements. So we can say, this is a cool new module title. And then if we hover into it, there's a little save icon. And then if we click the bottom pencil, then we can start entering content. Paste some text in there for us. And then again, if I hover, there's a little save button. And then if we close edit mode, we can see what our work looks like. So now there's this new module at the top of the page. Obviously, we don't want that there, so I'm going to go back into edit mode. The page will reload one more time here for us. And then we're going to select that gear icon and then select delete. And it'll ask you to confirm to delete it. We're going to say yes. And then bam, it's off the page now for us. And then just real quickly here at the bottom, the other two options are add an existing module. So if you built a module on one of the other pages on the site that you really liked and you wanted to replicate it on here without redoing all of the work, you can select this option. It'll let you select a page, another page on the site, and then select a specific module and then be able to drop it into this page. And the third button is page settings that we looked at previously. This is just a shortcut to it that'll get you there a little bit quicker. And then the final button is closed, which will collapse things and take you out of the edit mode. One of the things that you may notice on this particular site, there's an extra tool over on the right here that brings up a bunch of additional theme settings for the site. This is a little bit different for every website. It depends on the theme or the skin pack that we have installed for you. But there are options inside here that you can explore. Just keep in mind that if you're not sure what you're doing, feel free to contact us and we can help you with changing things or tweaking things a little bit. So that is our video for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for watching.